Reading his profile, I realized that, look, this is a man that we have to watch out for. His political career has been marked by his dedication to his party, the NDC. Previously serving as the Deputy Volta Regional Secretary, he's a political strategist with both fire and finesse. From his early days in the trenches of student politics to becoming a formidable force within the opposition, National Democratic Congress at the time, he now wears two key hats: Deputy General Secretary of the NDC and Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, that's Jubilee House, bringing a rare duality of experience from both sides of the nation's power spectrum. His academic background is quite impressive. He holds an HND in accounting, a BSc in finance and accounting, and a postgraduate qualification in international finance. Additionally, he has some background in law, though he's not yet a qualified lawyer. We'll get into that tonight and ask why. His blend of financial and legal knowledge has undoubtedly shaped his strategic approach to politics and governance. Let's talk about his extensive experience in security operations as well, and consultancy. And that's why it's no news and a no-brainer, with people saying that yes, he deserves that position, Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, where he will serve under retired Police Commissioner Nathan Kofi Boakye. Tonight, our guest is known for his principled stance, intellectual depth, and fearless commentary. He's one of the few young politicians reshaping the narrative of political communication in Ghana. A man who blends activism with administration, passion with precision, and vision with action. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest, a master of message. I call him the architect of movement. A youthful voice with an old soul. He brings a blend of street-level experience and top-level influence. Mustapha Gbande, how are you, sir?
Thank you.
Yes, get closer to your microphone. Yes. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm very good.
You're good?
Yes.
Mustapha Gbande, also known as Foyo.
Yeah.
Is that the name?
That's the name.
Well, tonight, let's see if you actually do so with calm confidence. Because many people feel that you are dangerous. We'll get into that. And some also feel that, your emotions towards people is something else. But let's see if you turn our listeners into loyalists. Beyond the headlines, we're here getting into your mind. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you very much.
So we're live in Kumasi on Ultimate FM. We're also live in Takrady on Empire FM. We're also live around the world on starfm.com.gh. And of course, this is Starr 103.5 FM, simply the best. Program is probably brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go, and Starr Assurance. So tell me, how have you been, Mustapha?
I've been good, quite busy, and moving about.
When you say moving about, really, what is it?
Trying to fulfill the mandate of His Excellency the President. He's giving me a job that entails the legwork, and consistently one would have to be dedicated and very focused on whatever responsibility you are given. And so I try to make sure that even within my imperfections as a human being, I try to discharge my functions with diligence. And so every day, every minute, I try to focus on achieving the reason why, and to also justify why President Mahama would have to put me under his feet to serve him. I don't have a godfather.
You don't?
No. What I have is my work.
Wow.
And so you take me as you find me.
So you have no godfather in politics?
I don't. I don't have a godfather in the NDC.
Wow. We'll come to that, but work, and you're passionate and dedicated. Do you get time to sleep at all? Because we'll hear of this operation, Mustapha is behind it. We'll hear of this raid, Mustapha is there. We'll hear of this, and do you get time to rest?
When you die, you sleep more.
Wow. How many hours do you sleep in a day? Be frank with us, Mustapha.
Maybe 3.
3 hours a day.
Yeah.
You've done that for how many years?
All my life.
That is serious and dangerous.
That's what it takes when you have had to transition from poverty, no background, to this level.
You sleep 3 hours a day.
Maybe.
And you've done that for the past, like what, 30 years?
It has been part of me. I live a very lonely life. I don't have friends. I don't associate. I don't go for parties.
You don't?
No.
We'll get into that some more. That's interesting to know that background of yours. But how's the NDC now after elections? I mean, now you're in power. How is it the NDC?
Currently, the NDC is a bit slow and a bit dormant. And these are natural developments that you see. Having won power, every attention has gone to trying to form government. And so the party itself is also taking the responsibility of installing the local governance structure, which is the MMDCs and other things. And the party chairman, the general secretary, which is my boss, and many other senior functionaries are constituting that. And if you checked, the novelty of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's administration is to try and bring the party closer to government, as opposed to what happened in 2016 or 2014 or 2015, 2013. This time around, a lot more executives have been appointed into the
so that is deliberate and strategic.
I think that the president's focus was to try and consolidate the party with government. It may not have covered everyone. It would never cover everyone. But what we have currently is a government that is closer to the grassroots, because they are familiar faces, they are familiar voices, they are familiar personalities who are in very sensitive key roles in government, who are also close and accessible to the party.
Isn't that dangerous for the party? Many are saying that, well, it means that the party will not be that strong. The party is weakened because many of its, big shots, if you want,
the NDC
are really in government and will not have time for party activism.
Today's NDC was not the same as yesterday's NDC. We have a contemporary party now, drifted into the middle level, where we are more strategic than basing whatever we do on natural support or natural situations. We try to develop new ways of doing things. And so for me, this victory was not orchestrated by only NDC people. Quite a number of Ghanaians who believe that President Akufo-Addo's regime was some sort of a problem or had some sort of issues, to the extent that they believe that it was a mistake. And so they needed a new government, all of whom have supported. But in this basket of people who have contributed to this victory, there's a need to show the greens and the reds. A very devastating development or strategy would have been to go and bring entirely new team of new set of people to run a government mixed. Look, we have NPP people who have supported us to win this election.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yes.
And you know them?
We know them, yes.
NPP people who supported you?
Yes, we have people who are not political but supported us to win this election.
Correct.
We are loyal and committed to all these people. But we must show that in the basket, there are NDC people.
Certainly. Can you tell me for a fact that you've also appointed people you believe are NPP people to serve in this administration?
President Mahama have always tried to be in the middle.
Okay.
I know that's why when I see my brothers making noise, I feel sad.
When you say your brothers,
the
how do you mean?
The NPP.
Okay.
They should thank President Mahama.
Why?
If President Mahama was not a president today, and you had someone like me, half of the NPP people would have left this country by now.
Are you joking?
Yes.
No, but we have laws governing the country.
We use the law. We use the law.
Why would you say if half of the NPP would leave the country?
If you
are citizens of Ghana.
If you are corrupt,
do you have any proof to actually?
Really? I don't believe in malicious communications. I also don't believe in destroying somebody's image.
Correct.
Whatever I tell you is what I know of you.
You have evidence to support that?
And so President Mahama have tried to situate his government in the middle.
Do you think that he's been soft in your opinion? Or maybe he's just taking it easy?
He's not been soft.
Okay.
He just believed in prioritization. He believed that, yes, where we are, the country is destroyed halfway. We can be dealing with ourselves, but who takes care of the steer in terms of driving the nation forward? There's a need to prioritize development, growth. There's a need to focus on building. There's a need to take care of the vulnerable who will not get the privileges you and I have. There's a need to focus on these people. So whereas we want to deal with people who have done wrongs, let us also focus on building the foundation.
Which is the right way to go. As opposed to what you would have done, jailing half of the people who are in government.
That is what my style any day will be.
That is too
no,
strong.
I don't believe that if you take what belongs to the poor, you should walk free. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And so when I see them recycling themselves and making noise, my heart bleeds.
Really?
Because if you know the kind of harm, go to Circle. The number of people, the number of women who have had to practice prostitution in order to feed their children.
But is that the doing of the NPP government?
Because one politician was corrupt.
Really?
Yes.
Who?
It's because one politician didn't think properly.
As to doing what?
It's because one politician takes taxpayers' money and use same for himself.
And that is why the women are on the streets.
That is why we have poverty. Because we are living today.
No, Mustapha, let's
we are experiencing. Yes, let's go into it.
Why are you saying that because of the NPP people are engaging in prostitution?
Not because of NPP. I'm just saying leadership.
Leadership, yes.
I'm saying that
go to Circle. People are engaging, but it's been there.
It's been there.
Yes.
It has to stop at some point. Okay? That's why people pay tax. People want to see improvement in their lives.
Don't we have prostitutes?
Ghana cannot be a society for the rich. Ghana would have to be a society that takes care of the rich and the poor.
So who put the money in his pocket that he didn't actually ensure development? To what you are angry?
That I'm not angry, but I'm just saying that I do know that President Akufo-Addo's 8 years didn't prioritize the welfare of the ordinary Ghanaian.
There was one district, one factory.
That was a scam.
Free SHS.
That was a scam.
One district, one factory was a scam.
Yes, it was a scheme to rather take more from you. It was a good policy on paper, but badly executed.
Free SHS.
Free SHS was a good policy, would have helped people, would have helped persons like myself who could not have afforded school fees. Okay? When I started school, people would have to help me pay my fees because my father and mother didn't have. I had to go and struggle to pay my fees. And so free SHS will certainly have benefited the less privileged in society.
And he did that?
No. But to the NPP appointees, it was a basket weaved to get votes. That is why free SHS was there, but they fed the student badly, poorly. It was also a scheme for corruption. That is why they didn't mind infrastructure. That is why people would have to be paying for free internet, but there was no internet on the campuses. All right? That is why teachers were not motivated, but they have to teach your children for free.
Well, they said they were building the infrastructure and it would have taken time. So maybe
that was why people felt that, look, it was a good vision, but let us feasibly start it from what we can execute and what we can contain. But they thought that with free SHS, it was an insurance for them to misbehave in government, but also get people to vote for them. So a good vision, but the execution was politically motivated. They told you and I that they were going to do planting for food and jobs.
Right.
Brilliant policy. Okay? Planting for food and job is the same as a move to secure our food security,
Right.
to deal with food security, all right? Which is a priority of this country. We have a lot of lands. We can do agric.
Arable lands, yeah.
Now, what did they do? They brought the project and chopped the money.
Do you have evidence to support that?
Tell me what they've done with planting for food and jobs. Show me evidence.
The Minister for Agriculture
That-
then said that, look, they actually helped people to set up, and they gave, outgrowers, they gave people seedlings, they supported the farmers.
How did it impact on us today? Today, go to the market and ask of a bag of maize. How did that deal with food security? But money went into it.
You think they failed with regards to
They didn't try it in order to fail. They diverted the funds and chopped it.
Wow.
All right? They didn't try in order to say they have failed. They have chopped the money. Look, Malik Basintali sat on your show here.
Yes.
And clearly exposed how a deputy minister of the Upper West region, with his driver and junior brother, stole, items meant for planting for food and jobs, to the extent that his regional minister would have to caution him. Do you need any evidence to know that there was poor supervision, deliberate, calculated attempt to motivate political cronies, other than actually executing what will benefit the people of Ghana?
Man, well, Mustapha, I see a man who's bitter.
I'm not.
Are you?
I'm not. I'm not bitter. I just think
Are you frustrated?
I am not frustrated. I just think that, look,
Because the emotions that you exhibit,
you see,
I can see a man who...
We are building a backward society where you can be happy today because you are powerful. But what happens to you tomorrow when you are not? So we can't build a society where rich men steal lands and they go scot-free. They are able to procure judgments in Ghana. They take the lands from the chiefs by force. They use land guards. They use the police. We are sitting at a place where people just go to cantonments area because they are rich, find a way of taking lands, and they do whatever they want. We are sitting at a place where people use their class to secure contracts and they don't execute it properly, and we are quiet. The taxpayer cannot complain. That is what is my problem, because you see, these acts would have denied more thousands of people like me. Bola Ray, and when I say I'm from a poor home,
we'll go back to you on your background.
I mean it because I know the pain around poverty.
Poverty, right.
And what it takes for someone to be in a hospital and not able to pay their bills and they lose their life.
Maybe since you brought it up, I'll just waiting for us to get into, how you move from grassroots organizing and then moving to the Jubilee House. Maybe we'll save that. But let's talk about growing up. Where were you born, Mustapha?
Dambai, the OT region. Yes.
Dambai in the OT region?
Yes.
How was life back then? You schooled in OT region?
I won slippers. We had to every Monday go to the market to cut grass and go and sell.
You wore slippers to school?
There are most times you didn't even have slippers.
Wow.
And I remember my mom had to go and buy, she would take banana and oranges, cross a river to fishermen and go and exchange with fish, come back and sell, and only to get some to feed us. Okay, so I've seen that, and I grew from that. And all that we were taught from our home was hard work.
Primary school was where? In the OT region, where?
The same place.
Yeah, which school?
My old town primary school.
It's called?
It was 2 meters away from my father's house. And we used to write on the floor. And I attended a kindergarten where we wrote on the floor, we wrote on slates, and then graduated to blackboard.
Okay.
That is my background. And so my school is still there by the grace of God.
What is the name of that school? I think that one day you should go and rebuild.
Old Town LA Primary School. I'm already making arrangements by the grace of God.
You rebuild your school.
To rebuild it.
To God be the glory.
Amen. It will happen.
It will.
Just so to let others know that there is so much God can do. There is so much. And Bola Ray, if you focus on God, there is nothing that is impossible. God is able to turn nobody to somebody. I do not own 10 vehicles. I do not own 2 houses.
But you are fulfilled.
But I am fulfilled because from where God took me from to where he has brought me, I don't want to hurt a fly.
I like that.
In order to enlarge myself.
To stay relevant.
I don't do that.
Writing on the floor, then to slate in his primary school. Then secondary school was where?
Secondary school, OT Technical School. Secondary Technical School.
OT Secondary Technical School.
Yes. At some point, I was to go to Bishop Herman, and there was no money home.
You couldn't afford.
No, there was no money.
This is sad.
So I had to come back to OT Secondary Technical School. You know, my teachers will tell you I was this usual person. I've always been like this. I've never changed. But they will also tell you that I focus on learning. We used to close from school, go to another preparatory school and learn. So right from school, we go and do extra classes. We stay in an uncompleted building to learn till the following morning. We go and bath and go to school.
Wow.
That is the only way you could pass your WASI or SSC exams. And I remember at the time, we didn't have an English teacher until second year. Third term was the second term.
You didn't have an English teacher?
No.
But you speak so well. I mean, your
that
diction
is, that is God.
Wow.
That is, so that's why I'm saying that if we can all help other people like me, this country will be a better place.
I agree.
If I can get here, it means there are many more who can be better than I am. And so at every given opportunity, I believe that we should use that chance to help many more people like myself who will be producing better versions of me. Because I don't actually fit to sit in front of you. I've never thought that a day will come.
Today you are here.
I'll sit here. I remember when I was contesting elections as the Deputy General Secretary, all the NDC big men wrote me off.
They did?
Yes, they did.
They didn't believe that
No.
Mustapha Gbande will win?
No, they
Why?
didn't believe it. They didn't believe
Because
it.
they thought you were that boy from...
I didn't deserve it.
Wow.
Because I was underestimated. You see, nobody can see what you are made of until an opportunity is given. And I owe these things to my immediate boss, Honorable Fifi Kote, and then my chairman, Johnson Asedu.
Yeah.
When I won the election, they gave me the platform to show to the nation what I'm capable of doing. And I did so. If they had not offered me the opportunity, I would have been sitting at the headquarters and you wouldn't know what I'm capable of doing. So if I'm here today, to the extent that I'm recognized by the president, who is the leader of our party, to serve under him, it is only because my boss gave me that opportunity. And I owe that to him and that to leadership. One needed just an opportunity to show what we all have, which nobody sees. And so I'm just saying that there are many more people out there. Your parents may have been poor. Your parents may have nothing. But if you believe in yourself and you believe in God, you can be better than I am. And so every single person at this point in time, the nation Ghana is in crisis. Crises that are inevitable because we have developed to a certain stage and prioritize development of individuals other than all of us. And so at this point, whether you are rich or poor, we should make conscious effort to do what is right. To just say that enough, let me treat my country well.
You know, I've watched you on television, on social media, listened to you on radio, and I must say tonight that you've really blown me away.
Oh,
The level of wisdom, intellect, this humility, and you say it as it is without fear or favor. God bless you, Mustapha. I think that we need more of your kind.
Bola Ray, there are two things in life. Either you live or you die. I have never seen a reason why I should be afraid of a human being.
You're not afraid to die?
I have never prayed against death.
Really?
I have never prayed to be rich. Every prayer of mine is the fortification, one, to always be on the side of God. And so when I do inventory of everything I have done today, I should come to the conclusion that I have not offended God.
People say you are a dangerous human being. You go after people, seizing their cars. You go after them, raiding their homes. So you mentioned Mustapha Gbande, and people are like, wow, that guy is something else. Are you dangerous?
I don't think I am. I just despise injustice. Injustice is so painful. If you had to lose everything you ever owed in life, not because you were wrong, but because of some form of injustice, then consciously your effort will be to fight what have hurt you so that it does not extend to another person. And so I hate to see people being cheated. If it has to take my life to fight for someone that is being cheated, I will do so.
You will do so?
And I don't have to take money for it.
Do you have emotions towards people?
I have learned not to be emotional. I've learned to be professional. Because when you are emotional, you make mistakes. But when you are professional, it embodies all the principles that one is required to process in order to arrive at a certain decision. When you are emotional, you make mistakes and you become weak. But when you are professional with people, you don't take them for granted. And you are alert as to when they take you for granted. Because many people like to take others for granted.
So you are not?
I'm not too emotional.
You're emotional, but you're not too
Even
emotional.
when you die, I try to process why you die.
You do?
To check whether you were reckless or you were not. Whether you could have prevented it. Look, so you sit in a car with a driver and you sleep without checking the discipline, the composure of the driver. He will kill you and he will say sorry. You understand? It's because you are being emotional. But I would want to make sure my driver is fit enough. You are disciplined enough. You are composed enough to drive. Minus that, you don't need anything.
Wow. So let's get into this. And you're saying you are not emotional.
I don't also have enemies.
You don't have enemies,
No.
or you don't know of them.
I don't know them. I don't have the enemies. Why do you hate me?
Because the NPP, many of them have come out to say, we've seen you've gone after people getting their cars.
They know that I'm not their enemy. They know they are wrong.
Why do you go for their cars? Why do you raid their homes? And by the way, you've returned some of the cars, have you? Who did you do that? You went to Lord Commey's house, did you?
Yes, because
why did you go?
I wasn't there.
Yes.
I had traveled and some of the boys had gone to Lord Commey's house.
That is the former director of operations at Jubilee House,
under whose office I serve currently. I intervened.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
Why?
I use this phrase that warlords don't fight warlords.
Wow.
It's a principle. If you violate it, it will affect you one day.
Warlords don't fight
warlords. And number two, I also believe that the two traditions, political traditions, must be preserved. So an MPP executive must be preserved by an NDC executive.
So you returned Lord Commey's
The business is that if you go into government and you've done something wrong, then it is you versus the state. But NDC MPP must not be seen antagonizing itself. That is my belief. I believe that Lord Comey is a well-respected personality within the MPP operations. It doesn't matter how you see him. I am sitting at his office right now.
Right.
And I the last time I said, individuals like my senior brother Koku Anyidoho, he's somebody I will respect in as much as I disagree. You don't want to antagonize your predecessor, your successor, somebody who have left a position for you to come and be there.
Right.
You don't want to do that. And so Samia Uku is a party person. All right.
Right.
And our boys have gone to seize.
Oh, they went to see Samia Uku's cars.
A vehicle which is a party car.
FM.
It's not a vehicle he brought from NLA. A party vehicle. So tomorrow, if the NPP comes to power, should they seize NDC party vehicles? No.
So you ask them to return it?
To return it. Because most of these party vehicles, you will not even have papers to it because the donors may not give you the papers. You know, there are many ways parties finance their logistics. And so if you go and ask a party vehicle, or you go and ask documentations to a party vehicle, you won't get. But the reality is that many of President Akufo-Addo's appointees have stolen a lot of vehicles belonging to the states. Many of them. We've recovered quite...
How many cars have you recovered?
A lot of them. A lot of them. And let me tell you.
Beyond 100?
Throughout transition. What we have done and what I have been interested in was to protect what is left. Because some way, somehow, the NPP government became irresponsible as soon as they lost election. They didn't care about what was happening. It may not have gotten the endorsement of senior persons of government at the time for people to steal. But because you left the office, individuals would take advantage and steal. So we were protecting these things. Vehicles were stolen. Many logistics belonging to state institutions were stolen. We have impounded, arrested quite a number of them, and ensured that even public servants who were still the skeletal government transition, individuals that were there, they were stealing.
Wow.
Signing checks, doing that, taking quite huge sums of money.
Were you able to stop that?
We were able to stop that. There were several of the CEOs I had to call and say, I'm aware you are trying to do this, don't do it.
You did it?
I did that, yes. I did that. And it's because I'm a street boy. And I'm not afraid to associate and to dine with the street, because that's where I come from.
You are not?
No, why? I don't work with a bodyguard. Have you seen a bodyguard with me before?
No.
I don't have a bodyguard because I'm a street boy. If you go to the street and you ask somebody to kill me, you're asking my brothers to come and kill me. They'll tell me.
So they know you?
Of course.
Are you married?
Yes. I have kids.
Do you live with your family?
No.
Why?
That is what I chose to do.
So you are married by your wife? It's somewhere?
Your children? I want to be responsible to my world. And my children will have to.
So your allegiance is to your party, to your government. What about your family?
It's service.
It's service.
Yes.
So you are married, but you don't live with your
My children are very happy kids. And they are very proud of me. But I do not want... You see, I also believe that political practitioners and their risk should not transcend into their children. So under no circumstance will anybody harass President Akufo-Addo's children. But if we have to go after President Akufo-Addo, we will go full scale. The day I have an order from the president,
you will do that.
We will go full scale, all out.
This is your former president.
I'm just saying that he must be responsible. And I'm saying that if the NPP any day comes to power and they have a record that I have done something wrong with the opportunity given to me, I should go through the same fate. And that no individual and their kids should suffer the risk of their parents. So President John Mahama's children must not suffer because their father is a president, or President John Mahama's wife should suffer because his husband is a president. It shouldn't be so. We can deal with ourselves, because I am the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. I am the one playing a certain key role for my party and for my government. My kids were not there. Your kids were not there. So that we don't build a society of hatred, where it is our children going after themselves because you did this to my father and I'm doing that to your father.
Are you also not denying your family that life, your kids, your children, that fatherly, role that you should play?
At least I would have been a hopeless person. But today I can pay their fees. So it's a sacrifice that I will have to make for my kids to associate with other children.
And
get their fees paid.
Okay.
Make sure they are able to eat 3 square square a meal.
Yeah.
Sleep in at least an air condition.
Okay.
As opposed to
you growing up didn't get that.
Didn't get, couldn't get here.
Okay.
So if today a car picks my kids to school,
it's a privilege.
It's a privilege. And so it's a sacrifice. I can't be a teacher. You see, so they must understand that their dad will have to serve. And out of the service, get what I can use to feed them. Because, God forbid, Bola Ray, I don't want any day for my kids to be told that, hey, your father stole the state money. Your father was a thief. Your father took what belongs to another person. I will never do that to feed my kids.
You want to serve and serve right.
I want to serve as much as I am an imperfect human being with my weaknesses, but consciously and deliberately do what is right.
You know, Mustapha, take us back to when you received the first call that you have been appointed by the president. How was the feeling? Did you get the hint earlier before the announcement?
I didn't expect it, but I expected that because of the key roles we played. And again, this is because of the trust that leadership gave myself. If you realize, I've worked closely with my senior brother Yamin, and we did everything together. And so one would have expected that you'll be given some recognition. But to me, I just wanted President Mahama to be a president. I felt that he needed that help to become a president in order to achieve his dream. We gave him that support without going back to him to ask permission for it. And we've served him without utmost loyalty. And for me, that, I think, I'm clear in my mind that I've served him, I've paid my dues, I was done. The most important thing is that a corrupt regime have been removed. There was no way that President Akufo-Addo and anything close to him should remain in governance. It was a treacherous government, an arranged gang of people who will do nothing at getting what they want.
But that's too harsh, and we want to dissociate it because
let me tell you, a month to election.
And we don't.
They've tried every means, spiritual means, every means possible to get us. They didn't get us. They tried to use NIB, to use GRA to frustrate me.
Oh, you?
I told the NIB boss, and I don't know where he is. I told him that he should tell President Akufo-Addo that where I was sitting, nothing will stop us from grounding his government.
You did that?
I told him.
A month to
and I told him that.
Is that assuming
he should pray? He should pray. No,
not that's okay. October, yes.
I told him he should pray that we don't meet again on a bad note. Because the NPP killed me whilst I was alive. A poor young man, under their regime, they've had my houses demolished.
The NPP had your house
demolished? Yes, and that
Pause. When was this?
It happened in 2020. I had an issue with a private individual.
This is news.
Yes, a private individual who said that where I was building belonged to him. And this is a man I have engaged whilst I engaged my landlords. And they were in court. So I told him that you had an option to add me to the case in order to restrain me from building my house. Or we could have an agreement. I'm willing to pay you whatever sum just so I'm not part of your litigation. He became my friend. I built my house. I lived there. He comes there. We speak. One day I constructed a road for everyone to use. He said, why did I construct the road? I didn't have the right to do that. Then I said, when you are coming to my house, park your car and fly. If you didn't want, he says, I'm a thief. Now by Mbasua, he will demolish my houses. And true to it, under President Akufo-Addo, he got support of government.
Your house was demolished.
One morning, no action of a court was served on me. No information was given to me. I left my home at 6 a.m. You may have won a case against me, but the court had a responsibility to inform me that I have been judged guilty in any matter, whether I'm aware or not aware. I left home. They demolished my houses without leaving me a pin, without a shirt. And I had to go through all these. And I had nobody in Accra. Bola Ray, I don't have a godfather.
You don't.
I don't. Nobody in the NDC will tell you that I'm his godson. No.
But in the NPP, because you live with Yoni Kolendi, is that right?
I didn't live with him. He mentored my life.
Oh, Yoni Kolendi
He privilegedly helped my life.
Oh.
And he is a man that I attune my loyalty to as long as I live on earth.
Wow.
He's a man.
He's at the Supreme Court now.
Yes, he's a man.
He's
a man. He's a man that I learned his principles.
Right.
And what he is. It doesn't matter how you feel about him.
Justice Yoni Kolendi.
This is the man who supported. He gave my life a light that I needed. He didn't give me money. He has never given me a peswa. That he's the man who said to me as it is.
How did you meet him?
I think I was working for Oyome then. And then in court, I saw him carrying books. So I helped him. And that was it. In fact, I had also attended Menka Premo, their training institute, for free because I saw a woman carry a bag, Mrs. Bedema, Hillary, and I supported her, and she brought me to that institute and trained me for free. My life has been providence, service, service, service. That is why, for me, service is very important to me.
How would you rate President Mahama's, government's performance in delivering on his promises to Ghanaians?
President Mahama is a good person. Naturally, he's a relationship person. So working with him is very complex. You will never know what he thinks about and what he will do in the next minute. But I can bet you that he is a man of compassion. Our nation needed a leader who first and foremost have the consciousness of compassion. He's God-fearing, at least I know that. I know that President Mahama would do right by all persons. Even if he's wrong, he will take responsibility for it. So I know my president means well. Number two, he would have wished to see that the nation is doing very well. It is not for him to grow his family relatives and steal state money for them. That is not President Mahama.
Rate his performance was the question.
Rate his performance. You can't rate a government that is 3 months.
That's what I'm saying. Is he delivering on his promises to
Yes,
Ghanaians?
the foundation.
From what he said.
The foundation is very solid.
Mm-hmm.
The foundation is that, even in under President Mills, it took us about 6 months to sack NPP appointees. Recall. So averagely 8 months before we set up government. Under President Mahama, number one, even though we're in court, you remember, it took us about a year to set up government. President Akufo-Addo, number one, it took us about 8 months to set up government. President Akufo-Addo, number two, there was no reshuffle, so he just moved in. President Mahama, number two, within 2 months or 3 months, he's been able to set at least 8 months, 80% or 70% of the government. The only lap that is left now is for us to do the boards and then begin to fix the grassroots, open employments to Ghanaians, and we are good to go. So I think that on that premise,
he's on the right track.
He's on the right track. Number two, he has also demonstrated that he won't shield crime and he won't shield anybody who is found to be involved in anything wrong against the state. Okay? When Reverend Tim Forjo's issue came up, the first thing he did was to call out state agencies to investigate. Don't forget that in most of these state agencies or investigative bodies are believed to be, elements of President Akufo-Addo's regime still in charge, even if not the apex, but beneath are all. But he says, go ahead and investigate this matter. Let me know what has happened. A similar issue occurred under President Akufo-Addo, where 2 aircraft are still parked at the Air Force Base. Did you hear about it? He concealed it. Nobody got to know about it. So you have a leader who is transparent and a leader who concealed crime. So there are two clear differences. President Mahama says that, look, I'm going to cut down my government. And he does so. Party people are angry with him. But he says, I take responsibility because we promised the nation. And he did that. President Mahama says we have to cut budget. So as we speak today, the finance minister have not even released a password to any state agency.
Oh, really?
Because he has activated his fiscal discipline strategy in order to revive the economy. And all of us will have to comply. That is the sort of precedent. When we won election and there was some sort of aggression within the system, I remember one day he called me and says, look, let everybody stop what they are doing. Let's move on. So in President Mahama's mind, the nation was first. We are getting angered because we have realized that deliberately elements like opinion markings within the NPP have decided that they want to drown the government. You wouldn't drown President Mahama or myself, but we are at a point where our country is very fragile. Okay? The people who do not have suits, they have to survive. What becomes of their fate if you collapse the government? You don't attack a 2-month-old government. It's unreasonable. Permit my words.
You think they're being unreasonable?
I think they are deliberately designing schemes to equalize, because President Akufo-Addo have failed. And I always say that President Akufo-Addo have not been fair to himself, because he had every opportunity to prove to this country that his long years of political participation was for the good of country.
Well, you were talking about President Mahama, and I know you are closely associated with him. The last time you met him, what was the directive to you? I mean, with all that is happening.
Treat all crimes as crimes.
He told you that?
He said that to us, all of us. I was upset. Something happened. And he gave an order. Treat all crimes
as crimes.
As crimes.
What do you like about President Mahama?
Do I like him?
You don't?
He's not he's a father, a father figure. I serve him. I'm happy serving him.
What do you like about him?
He's not, I like radical stuff. All right?
And he's not?
He's not. He will slow you down, don't do that, don't do this.
Oh, the president called you to actually take it easy?
Yes, he's a nice man. I keep telling you. And I don't like his style. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm a very operational person, naturally.
Okay.
And I believe in action. I believe
so sometimes he tells you that Mustapha, this...
No, but that is also a weakness, because you cannot be radical in all cases.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to take your time.
Yes.
And many people have asked me, why won't you become a general secretary? I said, I'm not fit to be a general secretary.
Why?
The best general secretary we've ever had is the one we have.
Fifi Kwete.
Yes, because he's the one who will not...
Yes.
He will not talk. He will not take an action. People are misbehaving. And that's how political parties...
But he has his own way of dealing with
That's how political parties must be managed. But me, I want to get the things done. Which is why I'm a deputy in charge of operation, because I would have to necessarily get you to do the right thing. That's my job.
Operational.
President Mahama is calm, he's collected. You wouldn't know what is in his mind.
And that's what you need of a leader. I think that's
what I'm talking about. But he's not my fan.
Yeah.
You're
not a fan of him.
Exactly. I like to see people who sit and we scheme operations.
But Mustapha, in all of this, a little bit also whispered. Of course, we have a text coming in, and it's from Marian. Marian says that, Bola, do you know that he's also a pastor at Action Chapel? Are you a pastor?
I'm a lay pastor. I'm a strained.
How do you reconcile the two? With what you do and all of that, you're also a lay pastor at Action. Duncan Williams, Archbishop.
He's the one who led me to Christ.
Archbishop Duncan Williams.
Yes. And when I leave here, the first thing I do is to take stock of everything I have done, just so I'm sure that in the process of doing my work, I have not done anything malicious, covetous, against humanity, that I have pursued a cause of justice and redemption of human being, that I have applied myself to the cross by sacrificing for others. And once I'm clean with that, I go to sleep.
Wow.
Okay. When we won election, all I wanted to do was to go back into ministry.
You wanted to go back and preach?
Yeah, because there are many people out there who needs God. They think they are Christians, but they don't know God. Many people want to prosper, but they don't want to go through pain. They don't want to go through process. By the grace of God, I have gone through a process of life. When I became a Christian, transitioning from Islam to Christianity, and I didn't transition because Islam was bad. No, Islam was one of the best relationships, best religions you can belong to, a best sect that you can fellowship with. At least Muslims are not greedy, but I've seen quite an amount of greed and sycophancy among Christians. But I also do know that I'm on this path because God wanted me to do something, and God wanted to use me for something else. You know, so I had always wanted to go back to serve. In fact, I had prepared. I bought a land
to go and start your own church.
Yes. And then, I traveled and these calls come down and all of that, and we are here.
Wow.
But my heart keep going back
to ministry.
And so if you ever hear
you have the Bible, you are there, the next time you are with people with guns and all of that, reading homes. How's it like, Mustapha? Do you sleep?
God was not a God of silence. There is nowhere in the Bible that Christians must demonstrate weakness and timidity. The devil will overrun you. And if you read the Bible well, every time that people strike the people of God, others strike the people of God, or disbelievers strike the people of God, God releases an army. He whispers strength into somebody who metamorphoses to lead, and that leader would have to fight. And where there is throne, where there's leadership, there's also bloodshed. All right? So if it takes that somebody will have to die to save multitude, so be it.
You don't have any regrets at all doing that.
It's a cause of justice. It's a cause of justice. Are you saying that if somebody wants to kill President Mahama because I'm a Christian, I should wait and then he's killed?
You take that bullet for President
without blinks. Without blinks. And so why is this issue of he's aggressive, he's not a Christian. I'm a very religious character to myself and to my children. If you ask my children, they will tell you our father is a pastor.
Wow.
My children don't go to the hospital.
They don't go to the hospital.
They don't fall sick.
They've never been to the hospital.
They go once a while for minor.
Yeah.
When any child of mine is sick,
you pray.
The first thing I do is to pray and anoint my child.
And that is it.
And that is it.
No major surgery.
I have had farm chicken where they die, and I go to the farm and I pray.
And what
happens? And I know that my chicken gets saved.
Really?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
I'll
take you to my poultry farm one day.
Where?
Japan.
Wow. You pray and the chicken
I can
that
tell
is
you.
Dead.
I can tell you that. No, not dead.
Okay.
No.
But that's sick.
I know that my farm is at the verge of collapse because there is flu.
Oh.
And I go and I pray for my animals. Whatever you believe and you commit it into the hands of God, you will see manifestation.
So you don't visit the hospital?
I don't remember the last time I've been.
Wow.
I don't.
No malaria?
If I go to hospital, I'm going to check to see whether I'm eating well.
Okay.
Whether,
but not that you are sick, you have...
No. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. And that's not exceptional. That is only divine kindness and providence.
Grace.
I don't take that for granted. But I am this child who have dined with the devil. I know how the devil looks like. My parents were not Christians. They were not Muslims. They were traditionalists, Basarists,
Oh, so you've been doing all this?
I have done all of. So when I see people take me to Juju, I laugh.
You laugh?
Because what are you going to do? What will happen?
You had all these Bansiris.
I've done all of that before. I've been a Muslim for over 25 years. The chief imam is my father. Wow. I go to him frequently.
And you've been in shrines?
Everything.
Wow.
I've done everything. Because life was really tough. Wow. And I've been a fighter from day one. I've fought for every single thing I've had.
Wow.
Nobody has given me anything for free.
Nothing handed over to you?
No.
On a silver platter?
You can ask NDC leadership if anybody have ever given me anything for free.
I like the way you speak your mind, because that's who you are.
God have found a way to bring helpers to my life.
Okay.
And I believe that because I serve faithfully, that is why God finds a way to redeem, to compensate me, to restitute me.
We'll come back. We're going for a short break. And of course, to thank our sponsors, Starr Assurance and MTN. When we come back, we'll get into, the lighter side, and we'll get into some serious issues as well. We'll ask you about the kind of music that you love to listen to, where you do hang out. But for now, let's talk about some great Easter sales campaign from Compu Ghana. Well, have you heard about Compu Ghana's exclusive Easter sales? Yes, Easter sales promotion happening now at Compu Ghana branches from now till the 30th of April. So, hop on to amazing deals up to 50% off when you buy top brands like LG, Samsung, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Tecno, Infinix, Itel, and more, only from Compu Ghana. And the best part is that you stand a chance to win big. Yes, we're giving away an 85-inch smart TV, only from Compu Ghana. iPhones, laptops, juicers, and more. Walk into any Compu Ghana branch and shop for these products. Yes, it's only at Compu Ghana. And we are 40 years. So yes, 40 reasons to smile. It's only from Starr Assurance. With us, it's something great for you. It's the 40 Reasons to Smile promotion from now to the end of the year. You could actually be one of our many lucky winners to walk away with a whopping cash prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis in quarterly draws, and also a grand prize trip to enjoy your luxury. Yes, the luxury of Dubai. It's Starr Assurance at 40, and we're giving you 40 reasons to smile. Just call us on 0302 751 333 to buy or renew your existing motor insurance. Be a lucky winner today. Starr Assurance, your solid partner. Well, we're going for a break. When we come back, there's a lot right here on Star Chat. My name is Bola Ray, and Mustapha Gbande, also known as Foyo, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC and Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, is our guest here on Star Chat.
Starr FM, Accra's solution to a stressful lifestyle.
Hey, why the big smile this evening?
I just realized all the Momo transactions I did today had zero charges. The money I sent to you for the market, no charges. The money I sent to Ajua in school, no charges. Even paying my 10 libras, no charges. Every single payment I made, no charges.
See, that's why downloading my Momo app was a great move. Every weekend, transactions on the app comes with zero charges. Send money, make payments, all for free.
Don't miss out. Download my Momo app today and enjoy zero charges on all your Momo transactions every weekend. Just Momo it. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
What's going on today? Where Dilo Tobiana?
You don't hear about the Starr Assurance 40 Reasons to Smile promo. Starr Assurance is 40 years. And to celebrate this milestone, they are rewarding clients who buy or renew their existing motor insurance policy with amazing prizes. Every quarter this year, lucky winners stand the chance to win cash prizes of 10,000 Ghana cedis each. And the grand prize, an exclusive all-expense paid trip to enjoy the luxury of Dubai.
Hey, so you mean if someone insures their saloon car, 4x4, trotro, motorbike, or any other vehicle, they stand a chance to be a winner?
Exactly so. To participate, simply buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy with Starr Assurance within the draw period, and you are in.
Akosia, thank you so much for sharing this with me. I'm driving to the nearest Starr Assurance office now.
A driver for Mumrenyo. Call 030-2751-333 to talk to us, or visit any Starr Assurance branch to buy or renew your motor insurance policy.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is in conjunction with NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Are you ready for Compu Ghana's Easter promotion? Yes, exclusive Easter sales is happening now in all Compu Ghana branches. From now till 30th April, up to amazing deals up to 50% off when you buy from brands like LG, Samsung, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Tecno, Infinix, Itel, and many more. The biggest part is you stand a chance to win big. Yes, you can win an 85-inch smart TV, iPhones, laptops, and so much more. Walk into any Compu Ghana branch and shop for your favorite products. Enter into the draw by simply texting your invoice number to the special short code and voila, you're automatically in the draw. Raffle draw is on May 2nd and you could be the lucky winner. Don't let this incredible opportunity slip away. Shop online at www.compugana.com or visit any of our showrooms now. Call 030-275-2020 or WhatsApp 024-314-3143. This promo is in partnership with the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
103.5 Starr FM. It's Bola Ray.
Right, so welcome back. You're on Star Chat, and my name is Bola Ray. Mustapha Gbande, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Right, so Mustapha, we received loads of messages, and we'll go to them shortly. But before that, you claimed that the NPP bugged the Jubilee House. I recall that, so that they can spy on President Mahama. How true is that, and has that been resolved? Was it really true that he bugged in the cameras?
For security reasons, and also because I work there now.
Okay.
I would like to leave that for the security agencies who...
Was the place bugged in the first place?
Of course.
It was? You retrieved cameras?
I'm saying that I would like to leave that for now. But you see, the anger outside there, the rage outside there, is of the firm belief that the previous government have dealt with this country unkindly. Now, I also do understand the expectation, the heightened level of expectations. Jail them, arrest them. A 3-month-old government fundamentally should be incapable of doing that if you want to succeed. Because if you arrest someone and take the person to the police station now, and you still have NPP elements to have to investigate, they don't believe in your vision. They will compromise the investigations and it will go nowhere.
So President Mahama will prosecute.
Do you see him as somebody who forgives somebody who have done a wrong? The man said treat crime as crime.
He instructed you to do that.
Not just me. He says crime should be treated as crime. It doesn't matter who is involved. So if he can say this to his own people, then you, the one who have done Ajapadia, you should know that you are in trouble.
Are you giving us a scoop here?
But you don't know that Ajapadia is a huge, well-calculated, planned, executed scam spearheaded by President Akufo-Addo against this country. You don't know? Are you asking me to remind you?
No, so I'm asking you that President Mahama is taking
elements involves PDS. It involved gold for oil. It involved this one, gold for oil, PDS, banking sector cleanup.
Wow. So you are going after that?
No, it's not. Right. It's not about going after. It's the fact that the right things will be done.
Okay.
And the government is just 3 months old. It will be unwise for anybody to believe that a 3 months old government should be in the rush to arrest people and prosecute them. That is why I've always reminded the NPP that whereas they are making noise, they should be ready to make more. Because when the reality begins, when the real action starts, at the call of Ghanaians, that Bola Ray, you have to account for 10 million that you have taken. And the evidence is shown to the public. You can't run away. Wow. It is not about President Mahama.
So you are gathering evidence and gathering info to come.
People are working. We are still in transition.
Still in people working. Former Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Commission.
Yes.
My good friend and your good friend, lawyer Egbert Fable, claims that you lied against him. He said on Asempa that he's keeping his official vehicles given to him by the PC and had organized 5 board meetings and employed people before leaving his office. What do you say to these claims?
So the following day, I had gone to clarify that matter.
Oh, okay.
Because one, when they lost election, he was employing people, some 8 managers, and I have the document. And I called him.
You called Egbert?
And told him, Chief, what you are doing, I'm watching. So stop it. He told me that he was not aware. And I said, like, what, Egbert, how can you say you are not aware? you are still the chief executive officer of Petroleum Authority. And they are recruiting when you have lost election. And you said to me, you are not aware. He says he will check. At the same time, Egbert was organizing series of board meetings, about 5 within the period, only to help board members make money and also exit to be able to execute their post-election stuff. And I called him. So when all this was done, I remember that my intelligence was that he had parked one of his official vehicles around his residence. He has some residence on there. I don't want for security reasons.
Yes, please, let's leave that out. Yeah.
By which time, at the time I was granting the interview, that vehicle had been returned.
Oh, okay.
So what intelligence I had was muted because he had returned
the vehicle.
And I didn't know.
Okay.
So I spoke about it, and he came and refuted that claim.
All right.
But he couldn't discharge that it was wrong to have held the series of board meetings he did. He had not disclaimed that there was no recruitment post-election. All right. And what we didn't even talk about was his frequency of travels. Go and check the MPA, the frequency of Egbert Fable's travels, and we can have a conversation. So that was what happened.
Okay.
So the following day, I clarified that
the vehicle
had been returned, but okay. I was aware of some information at a certain point. Bola Ray, in this business, we can always get it wrong. And when you get me, I will take responsibility and clarify.
You are gentleman.
But when I'm right, I will say it.
Okay. But you also recently justified the annulment of public sector appointments made after December 7, 2024. Yeah. Can you provide more context on this decision and this implication for governance?
Because we have a lot of people who are looking for jobs. Okay? A government have been in power for 8 years. Their party people work to bring them to power. They had the opportunity to recruit people. They didn't do that. Their party became destabilized as a result of their failure to even help their base. Then right after losing election, you go on recruitment spree. Recruit a lot of people at the expense of the ordinary Ghanaians who are equally looking for a job. Who is going to work to pay those people? There was a need to sack all of them so that we open a competitive recruitment, procedure.
So you stand by that? But they are Ghanaians.
The next CEO who fails to sack post-election,
you deal with the...
You sack yourself.
Really?
Yes. Why would you do that?
But are they not Ghanaians, Mustapha?
No, you see, but the people who are looking for jobs, they are Togolese. They are also Ghanaians. It's a bad practice.
You want it to be competitive, fair.
It should not be done by the NDC. It should not be done by the MPP. You can create jobs for the boys. You can also conveniently employ your party people when you are in power. You've been in power for 8 years. You didn't do all this. You had financial clearance. You didn't employ the people, only to lose election and now find a reason to recruit. Don't forget that they went to World Bank, and World Bank had restricted the frequency of public sector recruitment, right? Because you have won, you are no longer bound by World Bank conditionalities.
You've lost, yes.
So now you can recruit, so that the new government takes the responsibility of violating World Bank conditionalities. Is how best we should treat a country.
We have some messages, and then we'll come back to the lighter side as well. But this is from Achu Kobe. Yeah. Achu says Mustapha Gbande is an inspiration. His honesty and telling truth to people without fear or favor. Bola, this guy will one day be president of Ghana. He's a role model for every young politician, and we look up to him. We're listening to your show, and kudos to you. Well, thank you. And this one is from Marvin. It says a leader who believes in the grassroots and is dedicated his time to call and encourage younger ones is worth a leader. He must be studied. Wow. Okay. So thank you. And Haji Musto says Mustapha is making more sense today. I love the conversation. Sometimes it's so abrasive. Thanks so much for bringing the other side of Mustapha. Today, he's gotten the time to explain himself. Interested. Habibu Manuga Osman says Gbande Nabin Yusuf. Okay, well, kudos, and we like what you're doing. And all right, so Haji, thank you very much, and we move on. So with all the things that is happening, I got a call as well, and the message just came through. The NDC's 24-hour economy policy. It was a major campaign promise.
Yeah.
What progress has been made towards that? What can you tell us? What news do you have for us?
You see, I've said it before. The government of President Mahama have actually not taken off.
You are taxing.
No, it's not even taxing.
Okay, what are you doing?
We are in a formative period of the government.
Okay.
And I have said on countless number of times that, look, if you do what is impossible, you will get the results that is not possible. You are 3 months old in government. Ministers are still reviewing all of the things that they have come to meet. CEOs do not have boards, let alone approve anything they are doing. And we are talking about 24-hour economy. Who is going to be implementing that? Okay? It's the same as recruitment for even our grassroots people. I have gotten an appointment conveniently, even though my job is service. I don't have a budget, but I have to serve the president. There are other comrades who believe that they should be given what they are due. And that is so right. Is it possible that the president will give everyone an appointment? No, it's not possible. Well, the possibility is that a minister will have to create an opportunity for other comrades.
Right.
A CEO will have to create an opportunity for other comrades. And if I have my way, I will sack all politically exposed persons and put NDC people there.
You will?
Yes. Look, I'm a true party person. I'm not halfway. All right? So therefore, in the midst of all of these reviews, the CEO who will employ and add some few NDC people, he doesn't have a board.
Okay. So you're saying that it's just a matter of time?
It's just a matter of time.
Okay.
And another thematic area is illegal mining.
Right.
Okay.
Galamsey.
Yes, which is a very important security matter.
Are you dealing with it as a
we
party
are going
and a
to
government?
ruthlessly deal with Galamsey. And let me tell you, Galamsey, not two ways about it, is, we have various actors in it. NDC people are involved. NPP people are involved. Pastors are involved. Lawyers are involved.
Galamsey.
Journalists are involved. It's a multifaceted industry which has given birth to people have used Galamsey money to go to law school. People have used Galamsey money to win parliamentary seats. No, this is it. If you know the industry, you know what it is. And so, you need a calculated government wielding strategy detached from the political influence to be able to deal with it irrespective of who is involved. And here we come. The NPP people have done mining for 8 years. Don't forget President Akufo-Addo's regime issued over 2,000 mining lists as opposed to about 102 issued under President Mahama. As for small scale and what cannot be accounted for, the same president is the one who also issued licenses for people to mine in the forest reserve. We have not done reclamation, the damage is still there. The same MPP people are still mining, they are in the forest there. Most of them are in the bush there. And
so if you know that, what are you doing?
We have won, and party people too, some of them will join. Look, let's be real. We cannot dance around the fire. Do we expect President Mahama within the last 3 months to begin to fight Galamsey? It will be firefighting. All right? So we have to get to a place where all the police, look, if you go to the mining communities, all the police officers there have incentivized Galamsey because they are all they are in bed with the Galamseyers.
That's serious.
Yes, I'm saying it. So first, the Minister of Interior have ordered that change all the police commanders from the mining area so that new people will go. At least familiarity will not, which is supposed to be breeding contempt, would have been out. We have new people who will implement a new strategy. Number two, can we get to a point where we have special courts? All right? If you are arrested from a Galamsey pit, straight to Accra, taken to a court to convict you.
I like the sound of
that. Or
yes.
giving you ultimatum to go and reclaim the land you have damaged, we would have been working. Number 3, we should go out there and investigate every single Galamsey pit. The communities know the people. When you are going to mine, you first of all have to go to Minerals Commission. They'll do cadastral plan. Then they give you a mining list, whether small scale or large scale. For small scale, there's a requirement that you prepare some documents to EPA detailing how you are going to mine, the procedure, and how you wash, how you dispose.
So we have the records. We can go after these people.
Yes.
Okay.
So we all know that you are bound by law to undertake responsible mining.
Okay.
So
Fair.
if you undertake irresponsible mining, we should investigate and arrest. At that point, it doesn't know NDC.
It doesn't know
MP. So the demand and the pressure that, Galamsey is becoming, the same as it used to be.
Okay.
Yes, it's true. The reality is that when you are capturing videos of Galamsey destruction, you wouldn't separate what has happened in the last 8 years under President Akufo-Addo and the ones that are happening in the last 3 months. You capture everything. What you see is an increment in the destruction. All right? So we need time. President Mahama just changed the IGP. The military hierarchy has just been changed. We expect that will trickle down to the grassroots. And when that is done, government can now kick in the deliberate measure to fight Galamsey. Then all of us can be having a conversation. I've heard people question, why did we amend the LI? There was an LI that allowed free for all. Go and mine. You have been given licenses. Chinese were given the opportunity to go and do these things. All right? And there's an LI that says that I'm restricting 90% access from the forest reserves. And people say that, you should repeal everything. Okay. Why didn't they tell President Akufo-Addo at the time to repeal?
Well, so at least you are saying that there are some measures that have been put in place. And very soon we're going to see.
I'm telling you that when it starts, MPP and the same people, Kenashigbe and Co., they shouldn't cry foul.
There's a petition. Have you seen that? There's a petition by, Kenashigbe's, Galamsey.
I'm just saying that Galamsey is not fought on the media.
Okay.
Galamsey fight is not a press conference thing. It is a deliberate face-to-face action. When you go to the forest there, people are armed and they are there. There's a possibility of that people who are even in the forest are terrorists. And so it's a face-to-face warfare.
And the NDC will deal with this.
President Mahama
will deal with this.
It's not longer the NDC. We have a government.
That's right.
And the government led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We just need time to, for the government to take off properly.
All right. Well, so moving on to some messages, and Abena in Bosch sent in this one as well. And he says that, she says that his thoughts on governance is one to clap for, and of course, his pulse of the party is the future for the youth as well. You seem to have a huge fan base among the youth, with people sending in messages across Ghana. I have some also from Kumasi that I'll be reading, but somebody wants to know, and it's a fear in Kumasi, and she says, politics aside, what is he passionate about?
Well, so the first one, the grassroots, yes, because they made me. No big man in NDC.
But that's still politics. So
yes.
Politics aside, what are you passionate about, Mustapha? Are you do everything politics? Why? Religion?
Yeah, and security. Yeah.
So if it's not politics, it's religion.
Religion, yes.
You're either preaching at church or security.
Yes.
Reading homes and conducting intelligence.
That's all I like to do. I don't watch football. I don't watch TV. I don't watch nothing.
You don't watch TV?
No.
Charlie,
what am I watching?
Your life will be a boring one. No? Are you happy?
No, when you have to serve big men.
That's right.
And, I told you something before. Diligence is a spiritual principle. Even if I have to go and serve President Akufo-Addo tomorrow, forget every opinion I have about him.
You will?
I will serve him diligently. Wow. And I don't believe that he should reward me. I'm not serving President Mahama believing that he has to reward me. My God will reward me.
I love your dedication and really your loyalty, because to a fault, you will just defend it because you know that it is right and you're serving somebody in service.
What is right is right and what is wrong is wrong. When you are from my background, and you don't know, even you cannot account for how you got to places.
Right.
It's for first humility, and second loyalty, because that is your security, and third is dedication.
I love that.
And once you have that, there can be witchcraft attacks. You can once your mind is fortified to do right, you are good to go.
All right then. So, do you know any musician in Ghana? You don't listen to music, you don't party, you don't watch television.
I listen to music.
Oh, you listen to music?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me.
My car is full of gospel.
Oh, gospel. Oh, right.
When I sit in my car, anytime, I like to worship.
So what do you have in your car as a playlist? What do you have? Maybe you can play a song for you.
Sinach is one of my favorite worships.
She did Waymaker and all of that. I know who I am. And
nothing is impossible. Yeah, that's my favorite. Wow. My favorite song, from Sinach.
Wow.
It resonates with my background.
So that's the tune. Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
And that is true.
If God can make me, He can make others.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what situation you are faced. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where your background is. If God has His eyes on you, you will be out.
If you could take 1 year sabbatical from politics, what would you do?
Preaching. Any day you hear that I've resigned from this government, I'm going to ministry straight. Nothing else.
One thing that people always get wrong about you is what?
They like to predict me.
Okay.
Yeah. And people share their opinions and they say everything. But the question is, who are you? I know myself. The fact that this person says that, another person says that, and the third person says that, and it's not consistent, means that I am me, and I know myself.
All right. Well, we have this one from Ameibo. Ameibo says that with Galamsey, his government said they would deport foreigners and jail citizens. How would this curb the menace?
Well,
you're not going to jail them, but you jail citizens. But
when you jail people, once you arrest somebody, it's an expenditure on the state. If you jail the person, it's an expenditure on the state. If you've come from your country with the sole purpose of being irresponsible in our country, when you are caught, it doesn't matter your investment. You should be taken out.
And banned
from coming. I think we must take ruthless steps in trying to safeguard our country. Okay? And these things, we have evidence to suggest that when Ghanaians are engaged in illegal mining, the aggregate of destruction is not as huge as foreigners, particularly Chinese, who bring machines
and it's backed by facts
on a high scale, to come and undertake these kind of operations. In the past, they have often used either invisible forces or soldiers to protect forest reserves for Chinese to mine. That is what the NPP did. And I'm saying this because I know it. I've been in the field. That is what they did. And so one of the best announcements the Interior Minister made is to say that
foreigners will be deported,
yes, and
citizens will be jailed.
And I've also said that if you are a Ghanaian, you should be taken straight to a court and given an ultimatum to go and repair the damage you have caused. If you don't do it, you are jailed.
Right.
When we do that, by the time we jail some 1,000 people,
1,000,
we will set up right.
It's now time for our mystery question. Mustapha Gbande, please, here's your bowl. Can you pick the questions and read them out? And let's hear what we have in there.
Okay.
So your first mystery question will be...
And it says, which of the past ministers from the Akufo-Addo administrations was your best performing minister?
Correct. Who would that be?
Your best performing minister. Our best performing minister.
In President Akufo-Addo's administration, former President Akufo-Addo's administration.
Can you mention a few of them again?
Oh, no, I don't want to give you any. You know them. You've been in government, your party and their party, NDC, NPP. So you don't know any minister.
Most of them were corrupt. They would have done...
No, but your best performing minister. At least you should have one.
It would have been the Minister for Education.
Okay.
He came into the government relatively new,
Educhum, you mean?
Educhum, and he brought the foreign, some few flair to the
So
Ministry
Dr.
of Education.
Educhum will be your best performer.
It doesn't take away that he supervised scandals under the ministry. So in as much as I think he would have been one of the best, there were ghost names of teachers, people were on teachers' payroll, being paid by their names.
You don't go into details. I said that he's a fine gentleman.
Yeah,
in that sphere and space.
Yeah, he's one of the
best performing minister. Okay, we move on to the next one.
Decent ministers.
Okay,
yes, actually.
Dr. Educhum.
Educhum.
All right then. So the next one will be,
what kind of Ghana do you envision in the next 10 years?
Right.
A Ghana where there is discipline and order. First and foremost.
Simple. That is all we need. Simple. We move on to the next question. So a Ghana where there's discipline and order. The next question is,
if you had the opportunity to rewrite one moment in Ghana's political history, what will it be?
Correct.
If you have the opportunity to rewrite one moment in Ghana's political history, what will it be? Today, I believe that there's so much division in the political traditions, to the extent that there is this incentivized appetite to destroy. And that history should not be part of our history going forward. We should have a system where, irrespective of who or what party you belong, businessmen should discipline themselves and do business. Politicians should do politics. If you are Ibrahim Mahama and you are industrious, it doesn't matter who is in power, you should be empowered as long as you are a Ghanaian. If you are Bomti and you are industrious, it doesn't matter whether or not President Mahama is in power, you should be empowered to do well. In that way, we will believe that the government system alone cannot develop the nation. Private sector will also be part of it.
Fair. So the last question will be?
The last question, between former President Atta Mills and J.J. Rawlings, who do you deeply admire? Who do you deeply admire?
And that's the question, yes.
I think that I role model the founder of the party for his stance. I respect him for that. But my other side, which is not a political side, admire President Mills. That is why I respect President Mahama and I love him. Any human being who have compassion, who has great level of love, sense of humor for humanity is somebody I naturally admire and love.
Wow.
And that is President
Atta Mills.
And I see those tendencies a lot in
President Mahama.
Yes.
You're a cool gentleman. I mean, meeting you today face to face, man to man, you're kind of cool, level-headed, but sometimes you come across as somebody who's,
No, people love to say what they want to say, and I don't have the time answering what people say.
Right.
You can say what you say, but the most important thing is, have I been able to labor so much to feed myself? If I can answer that question,
that is it.
It doesn't matter what you say.
All right, then. So Nana Poku says that I close my eyes and try to listen to the show. It's as if I'm listening to former Minister Abu Jinapo. They sound alike. Is that true?
Abu Jinapo is my brother and a best friend.
Oh, Abu Jinapo is your best friend?
Yes.
Interesting.
But I don't like his. I didn't like his.
It's okay.
Anyway, so. He's my brother, not.
He's your brother.
He's somebody I'm very loyal to.
Okay.
I love him for his level of intelligence.
But you don't like what?
He's part of this all Akufado's scheme of.
You relax. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mustapha Gbande.
Yes.
For you,
my brother.
We wish you the very best.
Thank you very
much. And
much.
before you go, do you have any intention? Yes, I know you said after politics you want to go into ministry, but one day, if they call on you to become the president of Ghana,
I will not.
You will not.
Yes, because you need people who are center, who are the center, who can pull both what has gone wrong and what has gone right together.
Okay. And you're not
I am one-sided. Okay, so you are better off using me
for action.
not for action, but I'm a trained operative, okay? And 2, I'm that compliant, so I would like to see things being done.
I hear you handle guns very well.
I don't know about that. But I'm the type that if everyone here would have to report to work at 5 a.m.,
you are the man to ensure that.
Go and sleep by 4:50. Everyone would have to be there. If you are not there, no second chance, because there's no sorry in building. We have to be that strong.
Mustapha,